Hey, what's up you guys? Installing a trailer hitch on your Tesla Model Y can take you to some really cool places, like camping, biking, or even towing a U-Haul trailer just about anywhere in North America. Now this install can be a little tricky, but we'll guide you through it. Let's go ahead and get started. You'll need the tools seen here to complete this installation. All right, so we're gonna be starting in the cargo area right here. We need to get behind our taillights to start. So we're gonna start by removing the flooring in our Tesla. Now we're gonna remove our rear threshold panel. It's held in by 4 pins. There's one here, 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 and here. Now we're going to take a plastic trim tool and we're just gonna pry it out from underneath. And then we'll just pry it up underneath each of those pins. And now that we got those 4 popped, we have the weather seal right here. So we just need to pull up and angle it and it'll just pop right out. Now we're gonna pull up on this carpet trim right here. Now it just pulls straight up and you'll have to pull up on this flooring to just pull it up all the way. But this will allow us to pull back our panel a little bit more to get more room. Now staying on the driver's side, we're gonna remove this tray right here. It's held in by 3 pins. There's 1 push pin in the middle and 2 pins on the outside. We're gonna remove the push pin in the middle first using a flathead screwdriver. And to remove the 2 side ones, we're actually gonna go underneath the tab and pop that off on both sides. And then we'll just pull this tray out. And then we'll repeat those 2 steps on the passenger side. Now we're gonna pull up this center storage tray. It's held in by 6 push pins, 1 on the driver's side, 4 in the middle, and 1 on the passenger side. So we're gonna pull up on this, and we're gonna set this aside. Now underneath here, if you pull up on this, you're gonna see that there's the ends for 3 screws. Now we're gonna remove those from underneath our vehicle later, but sometimes these just spin into place, so you might have to hold them on top at the same time. So that's why we gave access to this right now. Now we're gonna remove our driver's side panel. We have 1 push pin right here at the bottom. We're just gonna remove that real quick, and then we're gonna pull back on this using a trim panel tool to take out the pins that are holding it in. And this gives us access to behind our taillight. Now behind our taillight, there's 2 nuts holding it into place. We're gonna remove those using an 8mm socket. We're just gonna get it started until it's loose enough to do by hand, because we don't want it to fall down, because it's really easy to lose it. On the top of the taillight, we have this rubber plug that's holding it in place. We're just gonna use our plastic trim tool and we're just gonna pry it around and this will just come right off. On the driver's side, we have our charge port, so we're just gonna open that up and we're gonna remove our taillight by pulling straight back. There's 4 pins that hold it in. There's 2 up top and 2 on the bottom. So you just wanna pull straight back. You'll just kind of grab it around and it should just be like that. And okay, so now we need to remove this bolt that's holding our fascia into place so we can get our bumper off later. This bolt we can take off using a 10mm socket. And then we'll repeat that same process on the passenger side to take off that taillight. So now with those 2 screws up, let's go ahead and pull it up on our ramps so we can get underneath and fully remove our bumper fascia. Now underneath our underbody panels, We are going to remove 9 bolts using a 10mm socket and 6 push pins using a flathead screwdriver. Now, starting in our driver's side, in the wheel well at the bottom, there's 4 push pins. We're going to remove those using a flathead screwdriver, and then we'll do the same on the passenger side. And then we'll repeat on the passenger side. Now with all those fasteners removed, we're just going to pull down on this panel. We're going to start on the side. And then there's these little tabs you just have to push in, and then it'll come out, and we're just going to work our way down. So now on our driver's side, we're going to remove our trim right here on the wheel well. We're just going to pull back on it. And you'll see some push pins in here, and we'll use a plastic trim tool just to get in there and pop those out. And then you'll have to pull up right there to get it out right there. And we just need to go up to the end of this paneling right here. Now this exposes a bolt that we will remove using an 8mm socket. And then we'll repeat on the passenger side. All right, so now we're ready to remove our bumper fascia. We're gonna start on our side and work our way to the middle and then repeat on the other side. Now, these tabs can be a little tight, so the best way to remove them is if you grab it, you lift up and then out. Now that this side's out, we're just gonna go over to the passenger side and do the same. Now on the passenger side, we have one harness we need to remove from our bumper. We're just gonna slide this red tab back, and then we're gonna push down on this tab, and it'll just pop off. And then we'll just take the whole bumper off, and we'll set it aside. So now we need to remove this bracket holding these bumper harnesses and sensors in place. We don't need to disconnect any of them. There's just 4 bolts that hold into place. One here, 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 and here. We're gonna remove those using a 10mm socket. So on each end of this bracket, there's a little pin held on this square. We just need to pull it out. And then we're just gonna let this dangle down here until we reinstall it. Now we're going to remove our bumper beam by removing 3 flange nuts on both sides. And we're gonna be using a 15mm socket. So we're gonna hold it into place as we take off that last nut, and then we're just gonna pull this off, and this is not gonna be reinstalled. Now we're gonna line up our hitch with those existing studs where our bumper beam was. And as you can see, our hitch is big enough where it will also serve as our bumper beam since we won't be reinstalling that. And now that we have it all lined up, we're gonna use the same existing flange nuts to secure it into place. Now we're going to tighten and torque all of those flange nuts to the manufacturer specification. Since we use the same nuts, it's still going to be a 15mm socket. So with our hitch installed, we're going to go ahead and reinstall our whole bumper assembly and the inside of our cargo area, just in reverse order. So with everything installed and in place and put back together, let's show you how you can get access to your hitch. There's a cover right here that is just held in by a bunch of tabs, as you can see right here. Now I found it easiest to push down on the bumper, and then you could pry it out from the top. You could use just a plastic trim tool or a flathead screwdriver, whichever preference you have. So now we're gonna go over some important measurements for your hitch accessories for your Tesla Model Y. This is a 2-inch receiver. From the pinhole to the edge of the bumper is 5.5 inches, and from the ground to the top of the inside of the receiver is 15 inches. This will help you determine the length, rise, and drop for your hitch accessories, such as a bike rack or cargo carrier. So that wraps up our install and our video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this product, or if you'd like to schedule an installation with the U-Haul Hitch professional, you can visit your closest U-Haul Hitch center, or you can visit us online at uhaulhitches.com. Thank you.